Hello, 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 and welcome once again to The Meta. I am your host, Chris Buckner, and to my left is the somewhat arguably taller Charles Powers. Charles?
Thanks, Buck. I will definitely argue with you on that one because I am way taller than you. Let's not mince words here. Welcome. Yes, we are your weekly esports destination, kind of like the Tahiti of TV shows. Just instead of lounge chairs on the beach, there's gaming chairs and computers.
That's right. We're going to be going over some of the week's top stories in esports, plus a few headlines throughout the year that we may have missed, since this is only our 5th episode.
That's right. One day we'll eventually stop calling out exactly what episode number we're on, but for now, we kind of relish every single one we make it through, don't we?
We really do. We'll also be joined by Josh Beard to discuss OWL Season 2 and the newly announced schedule.
With Blizzard announcing Homestand Weekend Series, we may get a glimpse of what they hope the future of OWL to be.
And I hope that they come play at my house.
I don't think that's what they mean.
Okay, whatever. Welcome to The Meta. Welcome on back. Here at The Meta, we try to give you the news, but sometimes teams just make it hard for us. Guess what? Astralis won the ESL Pro League. Huge shocker. They beat Team Liquid 3-1 in the Season 8 finals, and with that win, they also were the first team to receive a $1 million bonus for winning the Intel Grand Slam. The Grand Slam was set up last year and is awarded to the first team that wins 4 of the last 10 ESL or DreamHack CSGO events. In the last 10 events, Astralis won 4, got second twice, made it to the quarterfinals twice, and didn't attend 2 of the events. They are on an amazing run, and it really doesn't make it super exciting for our news segments.
It does not.
No.
You know what is interesting is the amount of money these players have won this year. According to esportsearnings.com, Xyp9x, dupreeh, Device, Glaive, and Magisk have each earned over $700,000 this year, with the first 4 bringing their career total earnings over the big milli.
A milli.
That's right. While the amount of money earned is quite impressive, these top earners in CSGO barely break the top 50 in earnings for all esports players, which is kind of insane when you think about it. With the Dota International giving out over $11 million to the first place team, you can imagine just how dominant the Dota 2 pros are on this leaderboard. To put it in perspective, it's kind of like finding out your grandma paid you $20 to repaint the fence, but paid your cousin $100 to clean the gutters. With the prize pool in esports continuing to increase, I can't wait to see how the new games on the block handle their own prize pools.
Fence painting and gutter cleaning? What is this, Tom Sawyer? CSGO might be an old dog, but it's certainly trying to learn a few new tricks. Last week, Valve surprised everyone by releasing the CSGO Battle Royale game mode, Danger Zone, and making their game free to play. This move has caused a huge uproar in the CSGO community. Criticism from the community included, but was not limited to, we wanted better optimization and better anti-cheats, and you gave us a BR and helped cheaters. What do the people who originally pay for the game get now that it's free? Why would you add a BR to the game instead of just releasing a separate free BR standalone? It seems that Valve may have put themselves in the danger zone with this newest update.
You know what? I was really hoping for an Archer reference, and you delivered! You really just forced that one in there.
Phrasing.
Now, the BR mode also had some interesting features. Valve decided to go with a smaller player pool than most of its predecessors, only having 6 teams of 3 players on the map to start the game. They also have toyed with the way you arm yourself, as in most battle royales. You can still pick up loot off the ground, but to incorporate some of the CS-style economy, you can also pick up money, which can be used to buy items. You can also earn money by completing objectives like contracts to take down targets or rescuing hostages. Valve also went their own direction with not using a circle shape for the zone. They instead used an amoebic shape. Cool. Even with all the new inventive features, players are still unsure as to what the future will hold for this BR.
Not to be outdone, Fortnite says, hey, hold my beer. We've already discussed that the Winter Royale qualifier was plagued with cheaters, which can't all be blamed on Epic, but this new problem in the Winter Royale is all on them. With the new patch to Fortnite, a new weapon was added to the semifinals tournament, the Infinity Blade. This is the first sword added to the game, and it's quite the weapon. It doubles the player's health and shield, and increases movement speed. It also does 75 damage to players and destroys all structures immediately.
The sword isn't the only problem players were having. In the previous patch, the game added airplanes, which of course increased your mobility through the map. You could also shoot the airplane gun or shoot from the wings using your own weapons. And if you thought that was all, you'd be wrong. The planes can also fly through structures. With these new additions, the pros had a few things to say on Twitter. And even Ninja had this to say about the tournament.
It's like we qualified for this when Risky was still in it. obviously the snow map, that's understandable. They're not going to literally delay an entire massive update or in season for a cup or for this tournament. But to add the sword and have these planes in this tournament is just, this is not what I qualified for, man.
Yeah, this is not what any of us qualify for. And you know what? Everyone who wants to make the argument that Fortnite is a true esport is, first of all, wrong. But second of all, when things like this happen, it makes the argument kind of dead in the water. Though it'll be interesting to see what Epic has up their sleeves moving forward.
It was reported earlier this week that China's Online Games Ethics Committee had reviewed 20 games and outright banned 9 of them, including Fortnite, PUBG, H1Z1, and Paladins. The other 11 games have been put on a list of games that need changes before approval, and that list includes League of Legends, Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft, and Arena of Valor. China has basically put a hold on new video games entering their market since last spring. This is certainly not the news that developers were hoping for. The banned games were said to have blood and gore and or vulgar content, which makes me believe that since Fortnite doesn't have blood and gore, that they've clearly crossed some sort of line with their dances, or the committee just isn't happy with the latest patch. The changes that need to be made to the other games include, this is true, overly revealing female characters, rewards given based on rank, inharmonious chat rooms, distorted concepts of history and culture, and game visuals promoting incorrect values.
What do some of these even mean?
I have no idea.
I mean, I understand that female characters in video games get overly sensualized, but inharmonious chat room? I don't know a single game with a harmonious chat room and game visuals promoting incorrect values? No one is watching Overwatch and looking at their 5 friends like, hey, let's go see how far we can push this car down the street before 6 people try to stop us. All the ramifications of this decision cannot possibly be known at this point, but we can tell you player bases will be significantly affected. Leagues like OWL and PUBG Pro League will have some big decisions to make. The silver lining here, I guess, is that in some of these games, a good portion of cheaters will be removed from the games, and developers at least have an avenue to travel into the Chinese market if they want to. Now, when we come back, we'll fill you in on Call of Duty, Smash Ultimate, and Magic the Gathering.
That's right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome on back. Call of Duty World League had its first event for Black Ops 4 and the beginning of its 2019 season last weekend, and Optic is back on top. The green wall was a little shaky at first in the grand finals, but once the mortar dried, they showed what they were made of. This was veteran Ian Crimsick Porter's 33rd Majors Championship. In the first game of the Grand Championships, Optic was losing to E United 120 to 236 in a race to 250, and they ended up winning 250 to 246. This was in large part due to the newcomer and a tournament MVP, Brandon Dashy Hotel. He went on a 15-kill run and didn't die for over 2 minutes from the enemy team. One of his teammates may or may not have taken him out once or twice. If you play Call of Duty, you do know that surviving for that long is ridiculously hard. Optic went on to win the next 2 maps to sweep the grand finals. They only dropped 4 maps in the entire tournament.
Over 2 minutes? I can last longer than that.
Boom.
This is just the beginning for Optic, since this win gives them a spot in the World League. This being the first event of the Black Ops 4 era showed us a few things to look out for in the coming year. First, unless changes are made, there are only 3 guns that really matter. The SOG is the go-to submachine gun, the Maddox is your up-close and personal AR, and the ICR, that's your long-range AR. Most of the teams ran the same operators, and 2 of those operators have game-changing weapons. The Tempest on Prophet and the War Machine on Battery could immediately change the tide of the game. You know, another change made specifically to the Pro League format is Capture the Flag is no longer a game mode, but its replacement, Control, seems to be a pretty good choice. Control is basically a mix of other game modes with limited time and lives to take control of fixed areas.
Smash Ultimate was released over a week ago, and players are very happy overall, but some are already suggesting changes. I mean, come on guys, you have to at least get to the Piranha plant in the game before we start bringing out the pitchforks. The release was seen as an overall success. I mean, Ultimate is the fastest selling Super Smash title in the UK. It's also the fastest selling Switch game as well, but some people are not happy with the online system. Switches are not made with an Ethernet port, although Nintendo does sell an add-on Ethernet dongle, but if you're going to have online play that bans you for disconnecting, you should probably make Ethernet port standard. There have been complaints about having to pay for the Nintendo Switch online, but it's $20 a year. That's like one birthday card from great Aunt Gertrude.
I don't know who she is, but she is ballin'! I mean, $20 a year is like a third of the price of the other consoles' online networks. Now, another crazy thing players have been doing is they're trying to place all the characters on a tier list after just a week. Now, I respect all the pros that have put in tons of hours already, but there is no way in hell you guys have been able to scratch the surface of all the characters. And most of the pros, of course, have been putting all sorts of hours into the game since release. Zero has been grinding, and we can't help but think that his match with Sonic Fox is on the back of his mind. Now, there have been tournaments already, but most people see the 3-month mark that Zero and Sonic Fox set for their match to be just about the time that the real competition will start. I, for one, can't wait to see all the new players, strategies, and controllers people will be using in the coming year's competitions.
Magic the Gathering is entering the esports scene with the announcements of a pro league and a $10 million prize pool. This new esports initiative comes with a complete restructure of both tabletop Magic the Gathering and PC Magic the Gathering Arena. The whopping prize pool will be divided across 10 major tournaments called Mythic Championships, as well as other smaller events. It will also be split equally between the PC and tabletop Magics.
Now, the game's publisher, Wizards of the Coast, alongside their parent company Hasbro, are putting a lot of eggs in their esports basket, and you can't blame them. With over 20 million players worldwide and 25 years of competitive experience, a splash in the esports scene was almost inevitable. The Pro League will feature the top 32 ranked players who will automatically qualify for each Mythic Championship. Those will kick off at PAX East 2019. Now, let's not forget about the game's online version, Magic the Gathering Online, which some are thinking will eventually get shut down, but now those players can also qualify for Mythic Championships.
When we come back, Josh joins Charles at the desk to discuss OWL Season 2's new schedule. Don't go anywhere. The Meta will be right back.
Welcome back to the show. I'm joined now by our very own Josh Beard. We're going to talk Overwatch. That's probably one of my favorite things to discuss with you, man. We talk about a lot of stuff, but here, let's jump right into it, because honestly, one of the most exciting things to come out of the OWL season announcement is, I would say, probably the homestand. That's huge for the fans, man.
Oh, absolutely. The homestand weekend series is going to be one of the biggest things that Overwatch League has done so far. They've let it be known since the end of Season 1 that by the start of Season 3, they want their teams to be playing in their home cities. And so this is really going to be kind of the first test of how that's going to work. How can they get their observers and get like an actual observer team out there on these traveling events and things like this? How are the other teams going to travel? And so right now, the homestand weekend series are scheduled to be in stages 2, 3, and 4. Stage 2 is going to be in Dallas in April. Stage 3, the homestand series, is going to be, I think it's in June, it's going to be in Atlanta. And then Stage 4, the LA Valiant, is going to host their homestand weekend series in Los Angeles. And I'm really excited about this. The Dallas one I'm most excited for. Obviously, we're in Houston. The Houston Outlaws are going to be a part of that. And so we have to go out there and see this live.
Yeah.
And so I just know the Overwatch League is doing things differently than everybody else is. These home-and-home situations that they can do, where they can have these homestand series, they can play in their own arenas and things like that, or arenas that they rent out, whatever it is. I think it's a really cool wrinkle in the esports scene that nobody else is really doing right now. By regionalizing these teams and by regionalizing the sport, it kind of brings that traditional sports vibe to it, where you can get fan bases that come out and they're like, oh, we want to see our teams. And it's not even the Dallas Fuel. With the Dallas, obviously all the Dallas Fuel fans are going to be really excited when you have the Dallas homestand series. But it's going to be that the Houston fans can travel from Houston. We can have a large contingent that goes up there and sees that. So I think it's going to be something new. It's going to be something different, and it's going to be something that's really, really cool that the Overwatch League is trying out for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And last week we had Alchemist on the show, and before we hopped in the interview, we talked a little bit about his time with the Overwatch League and the first season. And he kind of talked a little bit about how Blizzard was really trying to make the game more understandable, easier to follow for the fans. And I think, things are headed a step in the right direction. Time will tell how popular these changes are and what sort of movement it makes in the scene, right? And then, on a player standpoint, having the adding more breaks, I like that because it gives them, of course, more time off, right? It gives them more time to relax, to rejuvenate, to do whatever the players do on their off season or on their downtime, which is cool.
The biggest thing with adding all these teams in, adding all these additional teams, is that, like you said, that reduction from 40 games to 28 games. You're reducing the games by almost half. And that's not going to affect the viewing experience at all. People are still going to get the same amount of games. It's still 4 nights a week. You still get your 4 games per night, but that gives those players a little bit more of a break. It gives them more time to practice and prepare for the next match that they have coming up. And it's not going to be as much of a grind and as much of a slog.
Josh, thank you so much. Always glad to have you here, even though you've been a part of the show now for quite a bit with your sultry voice.
Well, I don't know if it's very sultry, but you know I always love the camera.
Hey, you've got a voice for radio.
That's true, and a face for radio, too.
You got a face for TV, man. You're here on the show, man, buddy. Always good having you on the desk. Guys, the Meta will be right back. Welcome back to the show. With 2018 coming to a close, we thought it was a pretty good time to take a look back at the year as it pertains to esports.
That's right. There's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of unbelievable victories, and a streak of domination by one team in particular, which I'm sure by now you know exactly who we're talking about.
That's right. Here is our 2018 esports year in review.
Enjoy.
Less than a minute remaining. Twists his Molotov back towards CT spawn. Long control granted. Is the Mag 7 the weapon that saves the day? This shot will tell. Nails the first but can't find the second. 2 kills away. Make it 1. It looks like it's a done deal. Nitro has not turned up in this final map. And Astralis are so close to this point. 1 kill is going to secure it. And that's it! The Grand Slam is theirs! ESL Pro League Season 8 as well. Matthew, can you believe it? The first map, it looked like they were out of it. They weren't turning up. Their key players weren't there, but they adapted, and that's why they're considered the world's best right now.
Gage gets some of the carries. Reckless still alive, but can they keep this game up? It's an impossible defense at this point. Brox and Reckless versus the world. Reckless goes on a rampage, but Ning is still there pressuring onto the turret with the rest of IG. Reckless is down, Brox is away. IG are on the Nexus. The LPL has never won before, but that will change today. The Crownless are finally king, and Invictus Gaming are your 2018 World Champions. The dream of every competitive League of Legends team now being realized as Invictus Gaming will hoist the Summoners Cup together and claim their victory.
Through, they're going to try to take the high ground too. Meanwhile, Birdring still back near spawn, getting those shots in. They're going to jump on the shots. Sado, he's down. London gets the main tank. Neptuno can't get there to res him. They only need 1 tick. They are so close. Philly desperate, but there goes Poco. And London Spitfire have done it. They will fly high as your Overwatch League champions.
Trying to dash forward, trying to chase Tokido down. Tokido stuck in the corner.
Oh, just sneaks over the fireball. Look at that damage.
Yeah, beautiful choice for the combo.
This is the moment for Problem
To
X.
the other side. Tries to go for the throw. Good block. Oh!
Still no answer
Too
for
far.
Tokido.
Too far.
Doesn't want to commit. The tension is palpable.
Oh, he goes in there. A backdash. No, he's not going to quite juggle there. Goes for the B reversal, knocks him down. Oh, that should be punishable. And let's go! There it is! Problem X has taken Evolution 2018.
He knows that's all he needs. Sonic Fox, 1 more for the championship.
Oh, big body combos. What we're going to do though to open them up? Nice block.
Sonic Fox playing it nice and slow with his 16.
This is crazy. This is like the only time we see Cell really not looking at his strongest when he don't got no help.
Yeah, light, mix up there, Barlock assist, 1 more. Go!
Oh, this is it. He's going to kill him.
That's
He's going to kill
open
him.
up for Sonic
Here
Fox.
it is. And Sonic Fox. It's, oh! Wait a minute. Yo, wait, do not tell me we're going to summon. Are we going to summon? And Sonic Fox is your Dragon Ball Fighters Evolution 2018 champion.
From Scream and Ibiza, they're looking over the hill.
Uber made distance.
He's got a little bit closer around the corner. Kurad behind. Samthi, if he gets distracted, it gives a chance for Uber. They are right next to each other. He'll look up and he'll knock him down. 2 teams left, and there it is. It all goes goes the way of Team Liquid. 9 kills in the bag. How far will it push them up the leaderboard? A long way, but not all the way. That should still belong to Oh My God. They will be the victors here.
First place team, FPP 2018 PGI. 70 kills, 3,425 points from China, OMG!
The Ancient is exposed. As OG, the Nimbus down, the shockwave from Zeb gets themselves another, they're onto the Ancient. OG! OG!
They've done it. They have done it.
Have done it.
Mid Phoenix down, right side's up, but it's the only one. Deathwalker lifted up, jumps back to the back line, but in the Titan room, everyone from Splyce charging in.
They're gonna try to end the game right now. Splyce are gonna be your season 5 world champions. This is their moment.
Squishy takes possession off to the side. Turbo. 10 seconds. Cloud9. They are about to do the unthinkable. They've done it. Cloud9 dethrones the kings of Rocket League.
2018 was a really great year for esports. Lots of remarkable moments.
You telling me or you're telling them?
Telling them.
Yeah, that's right. And as we've mentioned earlier in the show, Astralis has been absolutely dominating. The storyline next year definitely has got to be who can put up a worthy challenge against these guys.
That's right. Well, that about does it for us here on this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Chris Buckner. He is the slightly shorter Charles Powers. Do not forget to follow the show on Twitter. We are at the Meta HQ, and we'd love to hear from you and get your thoughts on the show. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
The silver lining is that in some of these games, a good portion of cheaters will be removed from the games, and developers at least have an avenue to travel into the Chinese market if they want to. Now, when we come back, we'll fill you in on Call of Duty, Smash Ultimate, and Magic the Gathering.
You had gathering to say.
I would be feeling eating on the Magic the Gathering.